Hi, everyone. My name is Nina Garadia. I'm a somatic experiencing practitioner and a physical therapist. I'm here with a very special person to me, my mentor and colleague, Tatjana Kaurinovic. And I just want you all to get a chance to meet her because she is the person who changed my life and changed my path on this somatic experiencing journey the last 10 years. It's really interesting how I met her, and I'm going to tell that story in a moment. But thank you, Tatjana, for making some time for us and joining us today.
Thank you, Nina, for inviting me to your channel. It's so good to be here with you and with your audience, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so interesting when I think back about how we met about 10 years ago, just this serendipitous sort of encounter where I was living in California at the time and I'd had a couple of whiplash injuries in my neck. And I'd gone to everyone I could think of. I did all the PT stuff that I knew for my neck for a couple of years. And I wasn't getting results. And I was at a health fair and I saw a chiropractor at the health fair at his little booth. And I asked him, can you look at my neck real quick? And he said, well, did you ever think that this is psychological? And I was really surprised because I knew I'd been physically hit on the highway at high speeds both times. And being trained as a physical therapist, just looking at injuries mechanically, I didn't know any different. But he explained, he said, well, maybe when you looked in the rearview mirror and you saw that you were going to get hit, maybe you tensed up. And it caused me to pause because I knew that drunk drivers sustain less injuries than sober drivers. And so I knew there was something to what he was saying, but I didn't know anything beyond that. And he said, well, I have this somatic experiencing practitioner, Tatjana, who works in my office. Would you like to see her for a couple of sessions? And so I did. And I saw her for 2 sessions before I got this huge release as we worked the event of this car accident. And 75% of my pain symptoms were reduced. And my mind was so stunned. I didn't understand what had happened, but my experience was I felt so much better. And something had happened beyond addressing this issue mechanically or physically. And I needed to understand what happened. And so I enrolled in the SE program immediately. And the rest is history because now I do something totally different. And the meaning that I've derived from doing this work has been just so beautiful. And Tatjana, I'd love to ask you if you could share with us your journey into this work, how you came to find SE and whatever background you'd be willing to share.
Hi, Nina. Thank you for such a lovely introduction. Yes, I remember really well those times when we started to work together. And I think I remember telling you a little bit, even at that time, how everything started with me. It started a long time ago, actually, at the time when I didn't even know what somatic experiencing is, what the modality was. At that time, it was not that known, but I was in circumstances where I would not be even able to get to know something like that. So I was in the beginnings of the war, a civil war that happened in former Yugoslavia. And I was in my birth town. So the things were already happening, like bombings and sniper shootings, just really dangerous moments. And you can probably imagine how it's to live in such a dangerous situations like that. And there was a one time where I was with my sister in the room. We were together. They started to bomb the city, and we were standing in the middle of the room. And I remember the bomb, the grenade, actually fell into the apartment below our apartment. It exploded. It blasted the whole apartment. It was unbelievable. This amount of sound was so huge, so big, that I think that sound actually traveled and hit me in the middle of my chest. And I remember so sharply and so clearly up to today. It's like one of those like really sharp, lucid moments in your life that you will never forget. I had a complete cut off of my emotions, and I was completely in my head. I was just thinking, okay, I need to survive this, and my family needs to survive this. Like I was telling them, don't rush, don't run, don't go to the shelters, because they had a way how they were bombing us. I was expecting the second bomb, then the third bomb, and sure enough, that's how it followed. But my family was, they were, of course, they were so scared, and they were screaming and crying, and everybody was running after their sheer life. So, but I stayed in the apartment. And so when the bombing stopped, I went down into the shelter, stayed there all day. And then in the evening, when the threat was gone, my body went into the shaking mode. And that was so interesting, because then in that moment, I was getting in touch with my fear, and the fear was finding the way to leave my body through the shaking. So you see, at that time, I didn't have all the knowledge of what really was happening to me in my nervous system or in my physiology. But then later on in California, so many, many, many years forward, and I'm reading the book from Peter Levine, Awaking the Tiger, and the description there is description of fight, flight, and freeze. And I'm reading that and I cannot believe my eyes. My jaw is dropping, and I'm like, what? This is exactly what I have experienced. This is exactly what happened to me in my system. I need to study this. It was almost like he was writing the book to me. That's so amazing. So, so yeah, and then I just applied, and the institute accepted me right away, like within a week. It was just like the door opened up to another world, and the rest is history. So
Incredible.
that's the journey to somatic experiencing.
Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Yeah, your story is really fascinating. And I didn't mention this in the beginning, but Tatjana is a somatic experiencing practitioner, of course. That's the program she's talking about. But Tatjana, you blend a lot of different trauma modalities into your work, don't you? Can you tell the viewers what else you blend in?
Yes, Nina, and I would also say I blend many different somatic modalities
Hmm.
and expressive art modalities. So one of them is movement-based expressive art therapy that comes from legendary Anna Halprin, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe some of your viewers are familiar with her.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of different somatics, a lot of Neo-Reichian body work, for example. I'm also very familiar with the different modalities of body work and worked as a body worker for many, many years. So that
Mm-hmm.
allows me to, in the session, work with the people in the way that that integration shows up um, as it is needed. You know, it
Mm-hmm.
depends who I have in front of me. So but I don't do anything without somatic experiencing. So even though I use all of these other skills and modalities, the principles of somatic experiencing are always there.
Great. And because I know you're also a registered somatic movement therapist. Is that the same as the somatic and expressive arts that you're talking about?
Yes, as a
Okay.
somatic and expressive art practitioner, I'm registered as a somatic movement therapist and educator.
Okay. Great. I just wanted the viewers to kind of understand what that was.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing that with us. And so, do you work with pretty much all the diagnoses that that people can see somatic experiencing practitioners for, or do you have certain specialties when you work with people?
Yes, yes. Like, for example, probably your viewers can guess by now with the war trauma, for example, high levels of anxiety, um, panic attacks, fears, And also you came to see me for the reasons of that what happened to you, car accidents,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Right.
So with that as well.
Okay.
And
Great. And
women,
then,
and a lot of work with women. Different
okay.
issues, yeah, different issues with all sorts of abuse that happen to women.
So if somebody wants to work with you, but they're not sure if it's a diagnosis that you work with, I think you offer complimentary consultations. Is that right? To see if it would be a good fit.
Yes, I offer 20 minutes consultation, then we can chat. We can, I can see what's going on with the person. I can get a more insight into their scopes of symptoms. And then we just sort of figure out on the phone if we are a good match to work together.
Okay, great, great. You know, Tatjana is also involved in an amazing project. She's the founder of a nonprofit. I'm going to let you explain, Tatjana, what your nonprofit is about, if you wouldn't mind sharing with us.
Yes, it's called Somatic and Expressive Arts International. And one of the programs that we are running right now is the education into somatic experiencing here in the Southeast Europe, in the region where the conflict was. So the professionals are trained in somatic experiencing so that they can bring that later into their workplaces and their immediate environments. Um, so the idea is to really start to break the cycles of violence that this region is known for centuries. Either we were conquered or somebody is just trying to occupy the territory, things like that. It's a very important region, I would say. So, for example, the Second World War started in my birth town. So the idea there was, when I was studying somatic experiencing in my second year, in completing one of the fight responses in the training for myself, I was like, wow, I need to bring this to the region where I'm from because it's so needed, so much of generational trauma.
Amazing. Yeah, I think it's amazing that you have used your experience in the war and your traumas and overcome them, and now offering this back to the people in this area who can benefit. So I think it's so wonderful.
That's
You
right,
know,
to the community back. That's right. Yeah.
right. We'll put links to your nonprofit and your website. We'll put that in the description below for our video, so that if people want to reach out to you, whether it's for sessions or if they want to learn more about your nonprofit or even help support and contribute to this cause, that they can reach you there. And I'm curious, Tatjana, is there anything else that we can share with viewers to let them know a little bit about you or what you offer? I just would love for this video to be a little bit of an introduction to you and your work and your practice.
Yeah, my website, for example, or perhaps it would be a good idea to offer a little short exercise to your viewers. How about
That'd
that?
be really
Yeah?
great. Yeah, that'd be
Okay.
wonderful.
Okay, let's
Okay.
do that. Yeah. Okay, so why don't we all sit comfortably in your chair or your couch and sensing your sit bones. And as you're sensing your sit bones, sensing the places of connection with the chair or the couch, allow your neck to move around. And as your neck is moving around, let your eyes go wherever they want to go. Letting your neck support your eyes to go wherever they want to go. And as your neck is supporting your eyes to go wherever they want to go, notice how the rest of your body responds to that. How the rest of your body responds to your neck moving and supporting your eyes to go where they want to go. And just noticing if you have any kind of sensations present, if something might be a little bit different than when you started.
Yeah, I noticed. It was really interesting. So I noticed as I looked around, I have these plants out front. And as I looked at the ones that are bright and thriving, I noticed feeling a lot of pleasant sensations in my body. But because of the time of year, it's November now, there's some of them that are seasonal and they are dying right now. And I noticed a little bit of a discomfort in the body. And I also noticed it it changes based on what thoughts I'm having as I do the exercise. So when I'm completely present in the body, I'm having one sort of experience. And then when I'm thinking about something, even not the plants, but something else from the past or the future, it shifts and it changes the sensations that I have in my body. So it's a nice exercise to just help me remember that what I choose to focus on then really becomes a part of my experience, and to be able to process, be able to observe how my mind and body are interacting based on what I'm choosing to focus on. So doing something like this, whereas maybe to a novice of this work, it might look like pretty simple exercise. I think when done very consciously, one is able to really learn a great deal of information about themselves and their experience.
That's right. That's the idea, to liberate the observer in us, to be able to notice all these sensations and how they travel through our body, how they move through our body, and actually to normalize and become familiar with sensations and befriend them. These days, we are befriending people on Instagram and Facebook. But the first thing first is we can first befriend our sensations, for example. Why not?
Absolutely. And like what you said, I think you were alluding also to not identifying with these sensations and thoughts. So we can make friends with them, we can get to know them, and at the same time, knowing that we are not them. And so then we liberate that observer within us, as you spoke of.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Wonderful.
Right on. And many other things, as you know, but I know we are limited with the time, so we cannot go further into developing this conversation.
Yeah, this
some other time.
Definitely. Yeah, I'd love to have you on again, and maybe we can go over certain topics that people are interested in. So if you have a question for us, or if there's a topic you'd like for us to speak of, please feel free to put that in the comments section. We'll try to do that. But this work goes so deep, and Tatjana and I have had so many hundreds and thousands of hours of these conversations over the last 10 years, and it's just so fascinating. But the healing potential of this work is really truly what's so magnificent. And so with that, Tatjana, I just want to thank you so much for making the time to speak with us today. And if people want to contact you, we're going to put that information in the box below. Tatjana, I just, can't thank you enough for, not only making time for us today to join us, but just the way you have impacted my life. I mean, it really changed everything for me. It not only did it change my career, my life purpose, my spirituality, just everything. It's influenced me in such a way that this meeting between us, which was very serendipitous, I'm so grateful for that. I'm so grateful for having you as a teacher in my life. And I just want to really thank you from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you, Nina. It delights my heart to hear this. It really does. And to see you bloom like this is just thanks to the existence.
Yeah, so I'm so glad people got a chance to meet you because I talk about you all the time. Okay, so we're going to end it here. I wish you all a wonderful day, and we're going to see you in the next video. Take care. Have a good one.